Way back in the early days, I used to host a lot of these vendor webinars for various data protection products. Actually, quite a few of them over the years. And one of the stories I always used to tell to kick off many of these different vendor webinars was this whole idea of backups as this thing that we thought of, right? The whole job here with backups is actually more about restores. And so for a product and an entire, I guess, category of products that we think of as backup tools, why do we call them backup tools when the ultimate goal is to actually restore data? Now, notwithstanding all those old webinars and all of my really bad jokes and attempting to host them all, our topic here has to do with exactly that activity here in configuring and executing restore jobs. Here for this module, you'll see I have a pretty long list of things to talk about, and I do so because there's a variety of ways in which you can restore data here using Veeam. For this, we'll talk first about just the general recovery options that exist, essentially laying out exactly what you can then restore once you've completed the backups on the other side. Once we understand what we can do, we'll then walk through some of the major activities in then recovering data, like recovering an entire virtual machine, like instantly recovering an entire virtual machine, which is a pretty cool technology, pretty unique here to Veeam, like recovering virtual disks for virtual machines and files for virtual machines, and then guest operating system files. So digging deeply into those VMDK files to bring back some file or folder. Also then is the recovery of data inside applications like Active Directory databases or SQL or Oracle databases. For these, Veeam uses a variety of Veeam Explorers, with one Explorer being dedicated to each of these different major applications. For these, we'll dig into our SQL Server to actually get at the individual rows inside that SQL database. We'll also take a look at restoring virtual machines there to Microsoft Azure, which is a pretty simple thing to do once you initiate the connection. And take a look there finally at this little Veeam backup extraction utility. In some circumstances, you may need to extract data from a backup, and if you don't have the Veeam infrastructure up and operational, this external tool can facilitate the restoration of some of this content without having to have the rest of the Veeam infrastructure up and operational.